One of the biggest mistakes that many people who are new to the concept of business and generating an income on the net make is to believe that the online business world is some kind of revolutionary new way of making money. They're right in one small way, in that websites are the modern online equivalent of shop windows. But apart from this, business on the net is exactly the same as business in your local high street or shopping mall. And in exactly the same way as it is in your local mall, one of the most profitable internet-based business tactics is to buy low and sell high. This is often known as flipping. And in these videos, I'm going to introduce everything you need to know about one of the most lucrative forms of flipping: the buying and selling of domain names. Buying and selling domain names is a little like flipping real estate in the offline business world, except for one crucial factor. Whereas flipping real estate generally entails buying a cheap property to renovate or improve before selling it for a higher price, with domain names there's often far less work involved. Although you sometimes need to renovate a domain name after buying it, it's often possible to buy and then sell without doing very much at all. In this video guide, I'm going to be very firmly focused on domain names that fall into the latter category: domains that you buy, and then sell, having done little other than pick up a tidy profit. If this sounds crazy or too good to be true, trust me, it's not. Yes, I know that market wisdom suggests that if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is, but this case is the exception. Believe it or not, there are still hundreds of low-cost domain names available today, and every day of the week, that you can easily sell for way more than your initial purchase price once you know how. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by suggesting that there is some big secret here. Instead, I'm going to give you the complete rundown on how to make very good money flipping domain names without any BS. So let's do it. If you've ever been involved in any other form of online business, you've probably already know that many potential money makers have one big drawback. Whilst there are plenty of opportunities to profit, there is also a lot of work and effort required as well. For example, if you build a website to sell a product or service, it's necessary to populate it with content, and that content must come from somewhere. Now, if you've ever sat down to write 20 or 30 articles, I don't need to tell you how much work there is involved. The fact is that with most online business models, the money you generate is almost always in proportion to the amount of time and effort you sink into getting that business off the ground. This should not necessarily deter you from following your ambitions, but at the same time, you must understand that it takes effort and hard work to succeed in most businesses. This is not, however, true of domain flipping. This is a business based on learning to recognize potentially profitable opportunities before investing in them. After this, it's a question of locating a willing buyer, which should not be all that difficult once you know how to pick a likely winner, before selling the domain to them at a profit. Thus there is a learning process involved, which starts here, but apart from this, flipping domain names is an almost zero-effort business, and what could come better than this? The attraction of domain name flipping is the model doesn't end with the minimal effort that's required to make money. You can add the fact that it's also a very low-risk business to the list of attractions as well. There are several different reasons why this is the case. To begin with, you don't need to risk a lot of capital to get started in this business. Instead, you can buy domain names for around $15 each and sell them for 2, 3, 4, even 10 times what you paid for them, as long as you bought wisely. In effect, no matter how little money you have available to get started, you have enough to get the ball rolling. But even if you occasionally buy a domain that you can't sell, and it may happen, particularly in the early days, you're only a few dollars down. If you've ever been suckered into paying hundreds of dollars for so-called online business training materials that were ultimately worthless, you'll no doubt appreciate that with just $15 risk money at stake, this generally is a business that you can start with almost nothing. Ultimately, the one thing that sets domain name flipping apart from almost any other online business model is the ability to utilize almost unlimited leverage in your daily marketing activities. Here's what I mean. By following the advice and ideas that you're about to access, it's not difficult to pick up an attractive niche-targeted domain name for $15 that you subsequently sell for $30 or $40. Now, you can buy another domain for $40 that sells for $150. And then you can buy a domain for $150 that sells for, well, I'm sure you get the picture. Alternatively, you might buy a domain for $15 and then sell it for $30 or $40, and then buy 2 domains for $20 with your $40 to spread the risk. Or you might buy 3 $50 domains with your $150. Again, it's up to you and will be dictated by your personal approach to the business and your attitude to how much of your growing pot you want to withdraw from time to time. Nevertheless, no matter how you approach this business, it's one that you can start off small and grow as big as you want. And let's be honest, there aren't many businesses where this can be said with any degree of truth or conviction. There are a few simple steps that you need to follow, and we'll cover those in the next video.